This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Friday, the 7th of September. I'm Michael Groff. Relatively dry weather with temperatures above seasonal averages will continue through at least the middle part of next week. Some indication of moisture coming into the desert southwest with chances of rain for parts of the state. Will we see anything here in the valley? Plus, we'll get you an update on the tropics. That's all coming up. First, we'll look at the almanac from yesterday. 105 degrees, the high in the valley, 82 for the morning low. No rain in the bucket officially. And outside right now, here at 5:35 a.m., we've got partly cloudy skies in the valley. We begin this day at 84 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 55. Humidity 37%. The winds are light. The barometer is steady. Temperatures across south central Arizona this morning. One of the cool spots, Apache Junction at 77, but most of us here in the urban core are still in the low to middle 80s. The water vapor satellite view shows high pressure is the dominant weather feature here across the southwest, and that will continue for the next several days, leading to relatively dry weather, although some surface moisture will be sneaking in from time to time. On the watch warning map, we've got excessive heat warnings now in effect for southwest Arizona and southeast California, including places like Yuma, Quartzsite, Parker, Blythe, Imperial, and El Centro. Elsewhere, flash flood watches for a good chunk of Texas, as well as much of the Central Plains and the Midwest. Severe weather outlook for today, a marginal risk of severe storms around Williston and Minot, North Dakota. And hey, it's the peak of hurricane season, and wouldn't you know it, we've got 3 storms out in the Atlantic. This is the lead wave, Florence. Now, 2 days ago, this was a Category 4 hurricane. Today, as of this morning, it is a tropical storm, packing maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. It's been weakened quite a bit by wind shear, but it is expected to encounter a more favorable environment for development. And you see the official track from the Hurricane Center over the next 5 days or so gets it back up to a major hurricane by the early or middle part of next week. And by 2 a.m. Eastern time next Wednesday morning, it's got it centered considerably east of Jacksonville, Florida, moving to the west-northwest. Where it goes from there, well, that's the question. Looking at some of the modeling on this is the GFS ensemble. There's 21 members here, and you see some of the members do bring it onto the east coast of the U.S., The ensemble mean, represented by the black line, that keeps it offshore for now, but it takes it much closer than we've seen on other runs, and it hooks it pretty dramatically to the right. And the question is there going to be a blocking high that builds north of it that prevents it from moving away from the east coast, or does it get picked up by a trough? Well, it's still anybody's guess, so this is going to be a forecasting headache for our friends on the east coast. I do not envy them right about now. All right, rainfall around here for the next 7 days. Pretty easy forecast, relatively speaking. Nothing for us here in the valley. Maybe some rain over in parts of eastern Arizona, and we'll take you through the models right now and have a look at it. This is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at about 18,000 feet. High pressure in control here. Heights are rising, so that means temperatures are rising. Highs this afternoon between about 103 and 106. The sky sunny. The air mass relatively dry. Dew points will be dropping off into the 40s by this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear, dry conditions. Lows mid-70s to low 80s. Tomorrow, sunny and downright hot. Highs 104 to 108. The hottest deserts, southeast California, southwest Arizona, will push to and maybe even exceed 110 degrees. Sunday, we might see a little bit of moisture surge in from the Gulf in the morning, and that could lead to higher humidity levels and warmer overnight lows, probably in the 80s. But that moisture should mix out through the afternoon. Highs somewhere between 103 and 106, about 102 to 105 on Monday. Again, somewhat humid in the morning, and the moisture mixes out in the afternoon. And kind of the same scenario on Tuesday, an isolated shower or thunderstorm possible over eastern and southeast Arizona. On Wednesday, previous model runs had been showing very bullish amounts of moisture coming into southern Arizona, but the GFS has backed off of that considerably over the last couple of runs, and now only shows slight chances of showers and storms over east central and southeast Arizona both Wednesday and Thursday. We might still see a slight increase in humidity, but we're going to take the chances of rain right out of the forecast, and highs between about 101 and 105. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what's happening on the other coast about this time. This is next Thursday morning coming off the GFS, and that is a nasty-looking 939 millibar low, which would be Florence, nearing the outer banks of North Carolina about that time, near Wilmington, moving northward ultimately toward the Chesapeake Bay in the northeast U.S., And that would obviously be the worst case scenario there. But hold on, let's take a look at what the European says. About the same time, this is next Thursday morning. It's got the storm a little bit further to the south and west, but still taking aim on the Carolinas. And just for shiggles, let's take a look at the Canadian model here. And it's got the storm centered a little further to the east than the European solution. And a much weaker storm, too, a 986 millibar low. The Canadian solution is kind of interesting because it loops the storm around and just sort of holds it near the Carolina coast, which would obviously be a terrible scenario, but it is a clear outlier. The message from the models is right now the east coast of the U.S. is in the path of Florence, but this is deterministic model output. It's a week away. And I stress to you that this is likely to change quite a bit between now and then. We'll just have to see where this goes. All right, let's go out to a week from today, back off the GFS. This is Friday, the 14th of September. We're still hot and dry here in the southwest. High pressure in control, troughing off the west coast. A southwesterly flow, maybe a little bit of moisture in the eastern part of the state. Highs 102 to 105. You see Florence centered not too far from Philadelphia there. Here's Saturday, the 15th, and we still have hot and dry conditions for us. Florence is now just southeast of Long Island, kind of sitting around there, providing some wind and rain to the northeast. But it would be weakening. That's the good news. Then here's the end of the forecast period. This is Sunday, the 16th. Florence is still lurking there off the northeast coast with some wind and rain persisting, but the storm will continue to weaken, and that's the good news. All right, let's check out the numbers coming off the GFS ensemble through the period. High temperatures, well, it's got us at 108 tomorrow, and overall will remain above seasonal averages at least for a while. And those 100-degree temps, well, they're probably not going away for at least another 2 to 3 weeks. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here on Monday morning. And if you like our videos, be sure to subscribe so that whenever we post a brand new one, you'll get the notifications. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. And you guys have yourselves a fantastic weekend.